This isn't the first time you've teamed up with Marko. What was it about Diablo that made it the right project for both you and him this time around?
We were actually shooting John Wick 4 in Berlin, and we're hanging out with each other because we're friends anyway. He's one of my best friends in the business. And we're just discussing what film can we come up with an idea that we can both star in a movie, and we'll make it in Chile, we were thinking, which is where he's from. And so we started batting around ideas, and we came up with, something resembling what we've ended up with. And then we started talking to Ernesto, his director from Chile, who's made a lot of movies with. And then we came up with a story, and we got Matt Sampson involved to write the screenplay. And obviously he fleshed it out much more than we could. And, wrote a great script. And then we had it, and I took it to my manager, Craig Baumgarten, who also produces movies. And we ended up shooting it in Colombia because we wanted it to be South America. And it was good. We had a good production, and very, very proud of what's come of it, the film we have.
Oh, and the fight scenes between you and Marko are pretty fast and fluid. What type of discussions were had beforehand on how you wanted to present these fights on screen?
I just said, Marko, I wanted to try and take my head off. And he said, all right. And then he came at me with everything he had. No, we wanted it to be gritty. You want the action to suit the tone of the movie. So because of what this film is, the tone that we have is quite serious and played for real high stakes, a gritty sort of feel. So we wanted the action to fit that tone. So we didn't want to like acrobatics, and it didn't want to feel like a Hong Kong fight, wanted it to feel real and gritty with the MMA. And we have a great DP as well, Nico, who's a great operator and an ex-kickboxer himself. So with the camera work, he could really help be there and move around at the right time. Because a lot of operators, they don't think like stunt guys or martial artists, and they're kind of one step behind. But when we've got him, he's great for featuring all the action.
Right. And what would you say was the toughest fight scene from a choreography point of view to execute?
It's just like, I've got the majority of fights in the movie. And so when it came to doing the end fight with Marko, I was pretty beat up. It takes its toll. We have to do these films quickly. There's not a lot of downtime. There's not a lot of recuperation time. So by the time we were doing the end fight sequence, my body was pretty battered. And Marko's a complete machine, and he just does not stop. He's phenomenal, honestly. He doesn't slow down. He's the same as he was when I first worked with him in his 30s. So keeping up with him completely destroyed me. So, it's not that the choreography was any more complex than any other stuff, but just keeping up with him is what was difficult.
And El Corvo as a character, it feels like a proper Bond villain, not only in how he looks, but how he behaves in the movie. How much fun is it having just a larger than life type of bad guy in this sort of movie to fight against?
Yeah, well, we were a little bit, I don't know, I think Ernesto may have come up with the idea to give him a fake hand that reveals a knife. And we were all like, oh yeah, that's brilliant, because it's something a little bit from left field, a bit of more of a quirky characteristic for El Corvo. But we were worried about whether it was going to work or not, to be honest, because we didn't have like a big CGI budget, and there's no CGI in the movie really, just a little bit. And we weren't sure if we'd be able to do it. I'm glad we did, because it does have that old school vibe, and it's got a bit of Live and Let Die about it. But we were more inspired by Mr. Han, Enter the Dragon, if we're honest, because we're big Bruce Lee fans, of course. But Marko is fantastic as that character, and I think it really works.
And you mentioned Ernesto a few times, and obviously Barker has worked quite a lot with Ernesto in the past. And I don't believe you have worked with Ernesto before in any of your movies before, if I'm correct.
Yeah, this is the first.
What was that experience like for you working with him for the first time?
Well, seeing his movies that are done with Marko, and I was always impressed, but they were done very low budget, but Marko spoke so highly of him. And I have to say, it's one of the best experiences I've had working with the director. He's completely prepared. He's a cinephile. He knows everything about cinema. He knew exactly what he wanted and what he needed to achieve. He didn't shoot stuff that wasn't going to make it into the movie. He had a keen idea for character and script. And actually, one of the best directors I've had talking to the actors. A lot of these action directors, they don't know what to say to the actors. So you just cast a good actor and let them figure it out. But it was not the case with him. That was impressive. It was really a fulfilling experience working with him. And, you know, I'm definitely going to be doing it again.
Great. And I also enjoy the scenes between your character Chris and Alana's, because she brutalized Chris, especially with more than a few harsh words and her attitude. Was it a bit of fun for you to get around us kicked with words instead of feet when dealing with my character on screen?
Yes, she definitely rings around me verbally, and so she should. And she was great there. She added a lot of that, like, sassy vibe to the character. She was embellishing on the script and coming up with stuff herself. She was a fantastic actress, is a fantastic actress. And we couldn't have found a better actress for that part. And yeah, it's fun, like bouncing off her and improvising with her. I actually couldn't say the character's name. I kept making a mistake, and instead of saying Elisa, I kept saying Eliza. I guess I was thinking of My Fair Lady or something, and she kept correcting me on it. And so we put that into the script, and little moments like that really help.
So my final question for you. Now, what are you and Marko going to do next? What, have you given any thought to that?
We have. It's too early to say, but we definitely got some things cooking.